Good afternoon folks, and welcome to another video. This is just a quick, what do you call it? I'll say quick, my videos tend to be a bit long-winded sometimes. Basically, what I want to show you today is these Peak Atlas component analyzer. This is 4 that they have in the range, and these are getting on a bit because they've been updated, but basically the same thing. These just had the newer versions, just have extra features that these ones that I've got don't have. Anyway, this one I believe is the same. This is really aimed at Jay from Jay's Vintage Junk, just to show him the other test instruments in the range that he hasn't got. I know he's got this one. This is the LCR 40, which can do resistors, capacitors, and inductors. That's what that one can do, and yeah, so that's that one. But he knows about that one because he actually owns one of these. It's basically an automatic passive component analyzer. Although he does say that you do have to connect, in his video, you do have to connect the capacitor, the to positive and stuff. But I don't know about that because on this unit I've got, this is a later one than the one he's got, because the one he's got black buttons on it. The original one I had, I'm on my second one. I blew my first one up by putting a charged capacitor on. There was about 400 volts in the capacitor. I did not know. Now I check them. Anyway, and that's why. But this is a newer one. So whether they made a change, and he can only connect his the right way around. Otherwise, it doesn't read properly. But mine reads either way. I've checked it. But like I say, mine's a newer revision of the one that he's got, because obviously mine's got the yellow buttons, his has got the black buttons on it. That was the earlier one. Anyway, that's that one, which he knows about because he already owns one of those. And so we'll put that one back there. And this one is the ESR tester. It needs a wipe. This is the ESR tester, and this tests capacitors, capacitance and equivalent series resistance meter, with automatic discharge function. That one will discharge your capacitors. This one discharges them, providing there's not too much voltage in, because I did speak to the guy at Peak. He said, yeah, if there's a low voltage it will discharge it, he says, but you know, he says if you put 400 volts across it, he says it'll fry it, but yeah, it will kill it, like I did with that one. And but it's always best to discharge, as Jay said himself. It's, you know, best to make sure your capacitors are discharged first, and I agree. Now this is the one that he didn't know they made, and this is the ESR Model 60, and I'm just trying to think if I can find the capacitor. There was one on here. Do you know there was a capacitor on here last night? There was a capacitor on here last night, and now I want to do a demonstration. I can't fucking find it. But what's that there? That's diode. Well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna get that out because I'm gonna test a couple of parts to show you. Right. So if we get a capacitor out of my stash. There we go. I don't know what value that is or what it is. I just took an electrolytic. Now, what I'll do, I want to see if they read the same on the both meters. They should. That's what you'd expect. Now that's 1200 microfarad. So if we connect it to the I'll get to these other two in a minute. I'll just do the... So I know there's no voltage in these because it's a new capacitor. And it's 1200, so we should expect... and that's, yeah, that's 1283 microfarad. So, and if I put it the other way, if I turn it round and put it the other way, I want to just see if it makes a difference. Let's zoom in a bit. One thousand 1289 microfarads. That's near enough. That's near enough on the money. That. Just zoom. There we go. I want to zoom in so I can show you guys. It's gone off now. So, I mean, like I say, Jay's is an earlier model, so he might have to connect his the right way. He might have to. There we go. He might have to connect his the right way around. Right. 1292 microfarad that time it showed. But if I swap the leads round, there we are, get this one off here. Connect that one to there. See, both my wires are the same colour. I've just put croc clips on, and I've not replaced the leads on the lead on this. I've just replaced the croc clips because the things that came on, and then things like these things were a nuisance. Right, so it's analysing. And what's that telling us? 1200 and yeah, sorry. Oh fuck, it's gone off. It was about the same by the look of it. I was trying to read it sort of like and show it you. I'll just turn it right around so I can see it. 1290 microfarad. So that's okay. So it reads the same both ways round. Jay's might not, we've been an earlier revision, but because I can't remember, I had the one that Jay's got and I blew it up. But I didn't blow it up because I put it the wrong way around. I blew it up because I put 400 volts up it by accident. So that's that one. So let's zoom back out. Actually, I can stay zoomed in and move that one there. That's the one Jay's got. This is the one that is. This is the one he hasn't got that he mentioned in the comment that he didn't know they made, which is the ESR 60. And we'll connect the capacitor to this, and you can connect the capacitor to this either way around. It doesn't make any difference, it sorts it out for you. So we'll put it on test, there we go. 1266, 1266, and the ESR is 0.04 ohms. So it's 0.04 ohms in it. So if we turn it round, on. The only thing Jay was right about this is they do eat batteries. And that's about the same. 1272 I think it's slightly different, but the ESR is the same. So, you know, that's in the ballpark there. That's well acceptable. But this will automatically discharge. But if you buy one, Jay, it's best to, well, you know that anyway. I don't need to tell. I'm never going to tell you. Yeah, you know to discharge capacitors. You know that because you're an experienced guy. So you know anyway. Anyway, the thing I will say about this one, I don't know why, but I've actually had the wire come off in here. I've actually had this wire, one of the wires in here come off a few times. This looks blue on the camera, but it's actually purple. It's actually purple. It looks blue on the camera, but it's actually purple. So that's the ESR tester. And what we've got here, now this one does a myriad of things. This is a component analyzer, and it does transistors, diodes, doesn't do resistors, only semiconductors. Transistors, diodes, that kind of thing. So if I get a diode, this, as you can see, is a standard diode. And you can connect this up either way. So connect the green to here. Doesn't matter which way you connect it, there's no right or wrong way. It, like that ESR tester, it sorts it out for you. So we go to click down to there. It should tell us that this is a diode. Turn the machine on. Diode or diode junctions, and then pressing the scroll button and the off button, it should tell us the forward voltage, which is 0.63 volts. The test current is IF equals 4.66 milliamps, and then we're back to the main screen. And that's it testing a diode. Let's turn it off. And it'll identify, just go back to it. It will identify that the red is on the anode and the green is on the cathode. So it will identify which leg's on what. So we'll turn this off now, and what we'll do now, we'll dig out a transistor. I had a bag of them before, so I had a bag of them knocking about on here before, and now I want one. I bet I can't find them, but there was a bag of small, I think the signal transistors. So we'll put that bag of shit there. I think they're here. No, they're capacitors. Where are you? Yeah, fuckers. There they are. And here we have a bag of transistors. So basically, oh, I hate these little zip bags, you know. I hate these little zip bags that do me head in. Just trying to get into the fucking things. You got no nails. Right, so these are just mixed transistors. Ain't got a clue what they are, but that is an NEC 2SC 781. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, that's another Donald. I'll tell you what. more than 2 sniffs of that fucker and you're greedy. So really I'm doing this just to show Jay these other analyzers. So we'll put this on test, and that tells us that's an NPN bipolar transistor. And if I go to the press the button and try and get it in good shot, and it tells us what lead is on what connector. We've got the red on the collector, the green on the base, and the blue on the emitter. Yeah, and it so identifies that. And it'll identify germanium transistors as well, although some testers won't. And oh, let it go off. Let's turn it back on. And there's your there's your current gain. HFE equals 48. Test current IC equals 2.50 milliamps. And base and emitter voltage is VBE equals 0.37 volts, and that's your test current, which I've already said. Have I? Yeah, IB equals 4.56 milliamps. Leakage current IC equals 0, there's no leakage current, which means that's a good transistor because it ain't leaking. So there we go. That should tell you quite a bit. If you didn't know, Jay, that should tell you quite a bit about that particular tester. And put that transistor back in the bag. Obviously that's a good transistor. I'm not going to go looking around for different transistors to test, because I've tested one. And what's this black one? Oh, I'm not seeing that. That looks like a germanium. See what it is. That could be germanium. I mean, this is just a mixed bag of transistors. Let's see what the number of it is. (2SC) something, I can't read it. Oh, I think it's silicon. Let's see. Oops. Nearly clipped onto the wrong leg. But I think these testers are absolutely fabulous, and the company that makes and sells them is a brilliant company to deal with. They really are. NPN bipolar transistor. Current gain. It's pretty much the same as what that other transistor was. So it'll probably work. And it ain't leaky either, so no, it's a good one. But that's that one. And like I say, the company I bought, the company who makes makes these instruments, they're very, very, very good to deal with. But you know that anyway, Jay. They're very, very good to deal with, and I would buy from them again if I needed to. If they brought something else out I needed. I mean, I've only got 4 of the testers that they do. And this is, getting back, this is the Triac one. Unfortunately, This tests SCR, Triac and Thyristor, automatic lead identification, warning avoid charge or voltages. Yeah, so you can't put any voltages on that either. But I haven't got any Triacs knocking about. This is the SCR 100. I haven't got, unfortunately, I can turn it up and turn it on, but I haven't got any Triacs, unfortunately, to test it with. I can't remember where the box of Triacs is, but that will do Triacs and Thyristors, or Thyristors, whatever you want to call them. I'd call them Thyristors. If you want to call them Thyristors, call them Thyristors. If you want to call them Thyristors, call them what you want. Call them Arthur, call them John. Anyway, but that's basically the 4 meters in the range that well, let me just zoom out. That's the 4 meters in the range that I went for, because they're the 4 meters that I would use. They do a network tester. I wouldn't use a network tester, so and I won't just buy a unit just to have everything that company supplies. I won't buy a meter just because it's an Atlas meter. I have to have a use for it, and these 4 meters here are very, very useful. I've used this one only once. I had a dodgy Triac in my disco console there. I had a dodgy Triac, and to confirm that, I decided to try this meter, and indeed it was found to be a dodgy Triac, and that sort of I replaced it and it cured the fault. The fault was basically when you turned the motor off, there was still a small voltage leaking through, and the turntable was creeping round very slowly. I've had it on a couple, but the turntable was creeping round ever so slowly. And anyway, replacing the Triac sorted it. But these units are definitely, it's definitely worth having all 4. I mean, you can buy like Jay's got one. You can buy a cheap 5 or 10 quid component analyzer from China and build it into a little case, but they get you home. But they're good enough to get you home and give you an idea. But I think these are better than any of that rubbish for 2 reasons. One, they do a specific set of jobs, so they're not too over compromised. And 2, they're made in Britain, and not a lot of things are these days. And it's nice to see that there's a British company doing well. That are selling, a British company that's got a good product, and they're doing well with it. And they've had these out now for they've been out for quite a few years. These analyzers, and they really are a brilliant idea. I mean, if you've not got one, then get one, because they're great. And I also got the cases, because what happened was they sent me too many testers. I put my order in for my testers, I paid for them, and they sent me almost a double amount. They sent me 2 of the yellow ones, the the LCR 40, and I think they sent me it was either the transistor checker or the Triac checker twice. And I rang them up and explained, and they said, right, well, so is there anything else you'd like from us? I said, well, I could do a couple of cases to put my testers in. They says, right, we'll send them back and we'll reward you. We'll send you a couple of cases out. And that's what they did. I sent the units back. A couple of days later in the post, I got a couple of cases. Once they got the units back, I got a couple of cases off them. Really good people to deal with. Really great on the phone. You know, really great to speak to. You telephone them. I've telephoned them in the past. Well, obviously I spoke to them, so obviously telephoned them. Really great on the telephone. And the one I blew up, they actually offered to repair. I said, what, you can repair it? He said, yeah, we just put new amplifiers in it. I said, yeah, we can repair them. I went, really? He said, yeah. I said, I won't bother, mate. I'll buy a new one. You know, because I think it was about 50 quid to have it repaired, because it wasn't under warranty, and even if it was my own fault anyway. But even these cases, you know, they don't look like they'd last that long. But I've had these for, I can't remember when I bought them, but I've had them for a good few years, and the cases haven't fell to bits yet. And I keep these tools in the cases because A, they are fairly expensive, and B, then, you know, I believe that if you buy something, you should look after it anyway. That's how I was brought up. Anyway, that was just a quick look. Because I don't think anybody's done a video on these or spoke about them. There are people who've, you know, got the odd one and use it and explain what it does, but you know, the four main products in the range, I don't know what, I'm going to have a look at it on the internet in a minute actually and see what other products they've got in the range. But I know the products I've got are a bit out of date, but they still work and they still test all the stuff I want to test. I don't want to do anything else. If I do, then I'll buy a tool for it and or update. But at the moment, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with these. They're brilliant, and I only recommend, you know, definitely. Oh, by the way, this is not. I'm not being paid by Peak to say this. I'm not. It's what I definitely think about the products. I think the products are excellent, and it's a British company, and it's a British product, and you know. You know, why have shit when you can have good quality? Anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching, and more to come later.